Number 10. Big Brother is watching. One morning in 2018, Tennessee resident Hunter Hollingsworth noticed a hidden camera on his hunting property in Camden. He removed it from a tree and found photos of himself and of state and federal wildlife agents on the device. Soon enough, agents descended on his property, geared up as if they were part of a SWAT team. They handcuffed Hollingsworth and searched his entire house, but found nothing criminal. Hollingsworth soon learned that his neighbor, Terry Rainwaters, had discovered 2 hidden cameras on his property. Rainwaters told local station WKRN that one of the cameras was pointed in the direction of his workshop next to his house. The cameras evidently appeared after Rainwater's son and some of his friends were charged the previous year with illegal baiting as part of a government investigation called Operation Bird Dog. But unlike Hollingsworth, who's faced poaching charges in the past, Rainwaters himself had never been charged with a wildlife violation. It was as if he was considered guilty by association due to his son's past, and he was extremely unhappy about the unapproved devices being placed on his property. After the cameras appeared, locals contacted the news, which questioned whether the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, TWRA, is allowed to go on people's private land. Reporters had a tough time getting direct answers, and an agency spokesperson refused to comment on specific cases, but they discovered that there's a federal legal loophole that allows for it, known as the Open Fields Doctrine. Apparently, the Fourth Amendment, which protects people's rights against unreasonable searches and seizures, doesn't protect open fields. Because of this, both the TWRA and U.S. Fish and Wildlife are allowed to install cameras on portions of people's land that fit the criteria of an open field. Still, this differs from state law, which is worded slightly differently. Both Rainwaters and Hollingsworth filed a civil lawsuit against the TWRA for invading their land. They only sued for $1 though, because the matter wasn't about money to them. The judge overseeing the case ruled in favor of the landowners, making a milestone win for private property owners throughout Tennessee. Thanks to the men fighting for what they believed was right, the TWRA now needs a warrant to enter someone's property, regardless of whether it's considered an open field or not. The agency argued that wildlife crimes will go up due to the landmark ruling, but the only way to know whether this is true will be to wait and see what the future holds. Number 9. A fishy find in Florida. In 2017, Derek Starnes and his wife traveled from Indiana to Longboat Key along Florida's Gulf Coast. They rented a condo belonging to a reputable owner who was active for more than 2 years on the vacation rental site they used and had more than 40 reviews. After arriving at the property, Starnes noticed a small black hole on the side of a smoke detector in the bedroom. He took a closer look and saw that it resembled a small camera, and then he noticed that it was positioned toward the bed. The couple called the police, who agreed that the device was a camera, and arrested the homeowner, 56-year-old Wayne Nat, who had no priors at the time. Upon learning of the allegations, the vacation rental company banned Nat from its website. Speaking with local station WFLA-TV, Starnes said that he was distressed about the camera, which he said captured images of his wife undressed. Shortly after the story broke, Longboat Key Police Chief Peter Cumming told Inside Edition that the investigation was just beginning and could take months since there could be more victims. Nat was ultimately charged with 14 counts of non-consensual videotaping in 3 separate cases. He took a deal and pleaded guilty in exchange for a year in prison plus 2 years of probation. Under the terms of the agreement, he was banned from having contact with the victims and was required to undergo mental health treatment that the judge deemed necessary. Number 8. Consequences for creepy coach. 53-year-old David Arthur Ryden was working as an assistant high school football coach in Rancho Cucamonga, California, when he was busted for placing a hidden camera in a girl's locker room in 2021. By the time an employee discovered the device, which was disguised as a phone charger, it had taken footage of at least 20 victims. But as it turned out, there were many more. Ryden was arrested and eventually pleaded guilty to possessing more more than 600 unlawful images. As a result, he was sentenced to 9 years and 4 months in prison. For many, the sentence wasn't enough to make them feel safe again. At least 48 alleged victims are being represented by the famed women's rights attorney Gloria Allred in their lawsuits against Ryden. Allred says that several of her clients fear that the footage and images of them may appear online someday, and she also brought up the likelihood that there are many more victims who are unaware that they were taped. Besides the clients represented by Allred, there are others who are suing under the representation of different lawyers. The San Bernardino County District Attorney's Office, on the other hand, seemed to find the sentence sufficient, especially since it enabled victims to avoid a potentially lengthy and traumatic trial. One of Allred's clients, who spoke with News Nation, described how the experience ruined her and how she's lost all trust in people. She now suffers from anxiety and depression, leaving her in an emotional limbo of sorts, significantly affecting her life and future plans. Allred said that her goal is to figure out why the hidden camera wasn't discovered sooner, which would have spared many people emotional and mental trauma. Number 7. Disgruntled renter discovers spy device. A young woman had recently graduated college and was proud to be on her own for the first time when she rented a room in Colorado Springs in 2022. Her family was proud of her too, although her father admittedly worried that someone might slip something in her drink or do something else to harm her while she was out alone. Her newfound independence hit an unexpected snag when she received some bizarre text messages from her roommate's boyfriend. The unwanted correspondence made the young woman feel like she was being watched. She put 2 and 2 together when she noticed there were 2 smoke alarms in her room and that one of them was suspiciously positioned directly above her bed. A photo search of the device turned up ads for a spy camera disguised as a smoke alarm. By then, the woman had only been living in her new space for 3 nights, but she was concerned about what the camera had already recorded. She told her father, Dan Farrell, who moved her out of the room and into a new place. The family also called the police, who believe they found hidden devices in an outlet in addition to the fake smoke detector. They issued a criminal summons against a suspect named Jameel Brown for criminal invasion of privacy. In light of the incident, law enforcement cautioned the public to thoroughly search rented spaces for hidden cameras. Public Information Officer Robert Tornabine told Fox 21 News that if the devices between rooms look different, it may suggest that at least one of them is an aftermarket product that requires additional inspection. He further explained that one way to detect a hidden camera is to shine a flashlight toward the device and see if the surface is highly reflective, which would indicate the presence of a lens. Number 6. Repeat recorder. In 2022, a woman from Tampa, Florida accused her homeowners association president of hiding a camera in her bedroom and secretly recording her. An investigation found evidence that he installed the device while the victim was out of state. The woman didn't know about the camera until she discovered it hidden in a flower pot. Sheriff's deputies uncovered video footage of at least 2 people in a state of undress, including the homeowner and a man who stayed there temporarily. HOA President Robert Orr, who also worked as a caretaker, had permission to enter the woman's condo to check on the condition of it while she allowed other people to stay there. While carrying out a search warrant on Orr's residence, police found several other cameras and devices that could arguably be used for spying on people. Orr was charged with 4 counts of video voyeurism, but that was just the beginning of his alleged campaign of perverted crimes. Orr was apprehended 2 more times in the months following his first arrest, after more victims came forward with evidence against him. Since then, investigators have identified at least 4 victims in cases dating as far back as 2018, whom they say were unknowingly being recorded by Orr. He's now facing 12 counts of video voyeurism and 6 counts of unlawful use of a 2-way communications device. Apparently, authorities believe there may be more victims out there. Number 5. Rio de Janeiro trip turns into real-life nightmare. Ana Lucia Becerra and Julia Stopper were looking forward to a relaxing getaway at their rented beachfront property in Rio de Janeiro during the 2022 holiday season. But they were horrified to find a hidden camera in their Airbnb after traveling 800 miles, 1,287 kilometers, from Goiânia, Brazil, to get there. According to the couple, who shared their experience with the local media, it wasn't a conventional security camera either. Stopper told the press that she noticed something glimmering on the wall of the bedroom. She and Becerra took a closer look and quickly discovered that it was a camera pointed toward the bed. The pair filmed themselves unscrewing the covering that was presumably meant to conceal the lens. Becerra told the press that based on the camera's location, there was no way the property owner could claim it was for security purposes. She and Stopper reported the discovery to police and to Airbnb. In the end, the company refunded the couple and issued a statement reassuring the public that they're willing and ready to help law enforcement get to the bottom of things. Number 4. Creepy colleague. A female office employee in Mandaluyong City, Philippines, was shocked to discover a hidden camera in the women's bathroom near a designated relaxation area in early 2023. She noticed something that didn't look quite right on the sink, and after taking a closer look at it, she realized it was a recording device wrapped in foil. The discovery was serious enough for investigators from the Philippine National Police's anti-cybercrime group to get involved. They learned from the woman that she noticed one particular colleague spending a suspicious amount of time near the restroom. After learning of the complaint, the office employees banded together and performed a citizen's arrest on their co-worker, 49-year-old Wilfredo Torres Mendoza. They then held him in their custody until the police arrived. A law enforcement spokesperson clarified that the team took matters into their own hands when Mendoza tried to escape. And now that he's been turned over to the police, he faces a slew of charges under the country's Anti-Photo and Video Voyeurism Act, the Violence Against Women and Children's Act, and the Safe Space Act. Number 3. College imposter. In November 2022, a visitor at the University of Utah's Student Life Center in Salt Lake City discovered a camera taped to the underside of a sink in a restroom. He removed the device and turned it over to staff members who reported the situation to campus police. A thorough search of the building turned up one more camera in another bathroom by the center's pool, where it was positioned toward a changing area. The cameras had captured footage of several nude men who told authorities that they never gave anyone permission to film them. Investigators identified the owner of the cameras to be 32-year-old Frederick William Whites III, who wasn't an employee or a student of the university. In his car, police found recording equipment, thumb drives, and micro SD cards. Whites was accused of stealing a co-worker's student ID to gain access to the building and was charged with felony forgery, burglary, possession of forgery devices, and identity fraud. He was also handed 5 counts of misdemeanor voyeurism. Whites has yet to be sentenced for his crimes, and at the moment, his case is ongoing. Number 2. Voyeurism in Vidalia. When the Concordia Parish Sheriff's Office executed a search warrant on a property in Vidalia, Louisiana in 2022, they expected to find evidence of an illegal drug operation. And they did. However, they were surprised to find evidence of human trafficking, including a hidden camera that captured footage of victims without their knowledge. Deputies seized drugs and multiple electronic devices containing over 30 files depicting evidence of voyeurism. The videos allegedly showed victims engaging in intimate acts without knowing they were being filmed. 50-year-old Brian Melton was charged with 33 counts of voyeurism, as well as possession of Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 narcotics with intent to sell. According to the most recent update, 3 other suspects were arrested and charged in connection with the case, which remains under investigation. Number 1. Alarm clock camera. In 2018, 34-year-old Dougie Hamilton and his girlfriend Taryn discovered what appeared to be a hidden camera in their rented vacation home in Toronto, Canada. By the time they found the device, which was hidden in an alarm clock, the couple feared it may have already captured a video of them. They were relaxing on the sofa when they noticed that the clock looked odd for some reason. Hamilton sat and stared at the suspicious-looking object, while Taryn became increasingly frustrated because he was ignoring her. Right as she was about to lose her temper, Hamilton unplugged the clock and slid off the front faceplate, revealing what looked like a camera lens. Naturally, the couple reported the discovery to Airbnb, and the company reassured them that it would investigate. They also called the police, who vowed to look into the matter. Luckily, Airbnb refunded the couple and moved them to another accommodation. Would you rather discover a hidden camera in the bedroom of your vacation rental, or have your trip delayed by 2 days due to a cancelled flight? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.